Hey Squadron, many of you were asking about the controller and initial setting to start with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0. So we thought of doing a video on the settings to start with the Call of Duty. So we're not actually a pro, but we would like to share the settings, what's been working for us and what is keeping us in the game. So let's get on to the video and check out the settings. The first setting we're going to see is the controller settings. So for the controller settings, the button layout we are using is the bumper jumper because we would like to have the aim side behavior and the fire on the L2 R2, and also the jump L1 jump we like to have it on L1. So the tactical equipment go on X. So there are other settings that will work for you. Maybe you can take a look at it with the each button layouts, and what we would suggest is usually bumper jumper would be good for whoever is starting with the COD flash. And next is for flip. So flip is like you can change L1 as L2 and R2 as R2, so like aim down sight, and that's the thing. And next is for the stick layout preset. So stick layout preset is for default. You can leave it for default. Controller vibration we prefer to keep it as in the off, so to avoid disturbance or distractions during the combat. So trigger effect also we keep it in the off just for the combat session. If you want to have the trigger effect to be on, you can have it on. In the PS5, I don't think the other consoles support the trigger effect. The next is the horizontal stick sensitivity. So you shall start with the one with 6, each horizontal and 6, horizontal as 6 and vertical as 6. But we prefer like to keep it as high as 7 or 8. So that is the minimal one we used to do it. But each one has their own soft spot for the sensitivity. So just in the combat, try to smoothen the sensitivity for yourself. So start with the lowest sensitivity and slowly increase your sensitivity. So whatever your aim is in the precise state. So ADA sensitivity you shall start by 80, 0.80 and gradually increase up to the point. So we play in 90 up to 1.00. So 90 is the sweet spot we usually do it. So 90 is the one we are using right now. So sensitive multiplayer you can make it as off, but if you want sensitivity multiplayer for each one you can set it out, but usually we are not preferring it, but if you want you can change it accordingly. Vertical aim axis you can leave it to default for now. Aim downside behavior. The next is the gameplay settings. So for the gameplay settings, the aim downside behavior we leave it for hold, and change room share input like sprint tactical focus point. So this is for the change room by pressing the key associated with sprint. So this is for the holding the breath. If you want to change the zoom in the sniper, so you can use this option. So automatic sprints we usually prefer for automatic tactical sprint. So that is what we prefer it, and that is working as well for us mostly. Equipment behavior you can go it for hold, but you can switch it to toggle. But what happens with the toggle is when you take out a weapon, or let's say like equipment behavior you can go for hold, because it means like when you take a bomb or something, a grenade or something, so you can press and hold to ready to click and you just throw it, it will go and boom. But when you just toggle, it will come into your hand, it will wait for you to throw. So it's sometimes in the combat we miss that point, and there will be a slight chance we will get hit by the enemy. So we prefer hold. And weapon mount activation we can keep it like ADS plus melee. And interact reload behavior we suggest to keep it on prioritize reload. So reload should take the most priority upon for the others. Tap to reload and tap to interact, sometimes at some situation we may miss for the reload, and sometimes the person will interact instead of reload. So it's better to keep on prioritize reload. And armor plate you should keep like apply always. So you can also cancel by pressing the triangle button whenever it is needed. So next we go for is advanced settings in the controller one. So target aim assist for console players, it should be on for always. So that is one of the, what to say, a savior for some time. Aim assist type, we were using focusing, but now I switched to Black Ops. So it is a little bit working as for us during the combat, especially in the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer games. Gyro behavior, it is good. It is a nice to have it future, but we usually prefer it is in the off. So everything will be off for the gyro. If you want to try gyro, you're open to go and try it for it. But I have no knowledge on how the gyro actually works. But you can have it turn it off, and try it out for yourself. And next setting is aiming. The aiming, we keep it dynamic for the aim curve type, and ADS sensitive multiplier as 1, and sensitivity transition timing we keep it as after zoom. So we prefer to keep the ADS sensitivity only after we zoom. And custom sensitivity per zoom is off for now, not a dead zone. So whoever is playing in the console, whoever is playing with the controller, must know about this topic. This is a very important topic, or one should know in an FPS game. So dead zone is something like a distance of the thumbstick that can move from the idle position to start registering an input in any games. Like if Okay, let's see how to set up this dead zone. So let's start with 0.00 and let's see how the controller is behaving. So here my controller is idle, and you can see that pointer is moving on the screen even when the controller is idle. That should not happen. That means that the controller is taking input even when it is on the idle state. So let's increase the point to 2. Let's go by 2 pointer and see how the controller behaves. So now you can see there is the slightest movement on the pointer, even the controller is idle for this time, even when it is 0.7. I have a fresh new controller, so we can go for 0.02. If you have an older controller, you can go for 5, 10 or something. So each dead zone differs for each controller. So you should pick up your perfect dead zone for yourself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase 1 pointer for the controller, that is 0.03, and see whether it is staying still on the screen. So if it is staying still, then we are good. So if you can see, the pointer is staying still now. The controller is in idle state, and I don't see any movement. So this is the perfect settings for my controller, and you can find your dead zone by trying this out. So the next is for movement behavior. So tactical, it is going to be default. Auto move forward. So auto move forward, we keep it as off. So it is better to keep it up. So like it will help only if you're standing in some tower or a tank. So if you keep it as auto move forward, there is a possibility the player will just jump from that area. So to avoid that, it is better to keep it as off. But if you think like you can control it, you can keep it as off. Tactical sprints behavior, we prefer to keep it a single tap run. Double tap run is not mostly working on the combat time. So single tap run is working. So grounded mantle, keep it as on. So whenever there is a ledge or something, so when you press a button, the player will mantle and jump over it. And automatic airborne mantle, keep it as off, because if something is happening, if you want to jump on the wall, the player is just jumping over the wall without even giving the jump input. So if you want to even hide, it is not happening. So the player just go and jump just with the directional key. So it's better to keep it as off. Automatic ground mantle, also keep it as off, same like the automatic airborne mantle. So this and all will help in Warzone mostly. Invert slide and dive behavior, you can leave it as default. Plunging underwater, plunge freely. So it is better to have it like that. It helps mostly in the war zone. So when you want to run away from a enemy, or if you want to hide underwater, so plunge freely is helping. So instead of pressing an L3, so plunge freely is working. Parachute auto deploy, a must-have feature as on. It is sometimes a lifesaver for us. Sprinting door bash, it is user's preference. If you keep it as on, while running itself, the player will just dash in the door and barge in. If you keep it as off, it will ask for the input. So if you are a sneaky player, or if you can keep it as off and use the input, or you just want to barge and keep it as on, just break in. Ledge hang mantle behavior, so movement based. So ledge hang means if you want to hang on the wall, so this is how the mantle one is. Pressing the mantle key, So you can read it out here. Pressing the mantle key while hanging from the ledge will climb up. So once you're hanging up, only after you press the mantle key, he will climb up the ledge. So that is how it works. So movement, it depends on the movement. If you're running, if you want a mantle, he just jump over the wall and go to the other side. So next, let's move on for the graphic settings. So for this is for the PS5. So whatever I am saying is for the PS5. So for PS5 graphic settings, it may apply for the other console too. Maybe you shall try it out and see. So on-demand texture streaming is on. So this will give us a textured image while playing. So it will download during the gameplay and give us a textured. So next is the post-processing effect. These we can turn it off. The motion blur, weapon motion blur, film grain to the 0.00, the minimal depth of field off, and fidelity gas. This will give a sharpened image around the screen. So you can turn it on. I also don't have any much idea on this, but just trying it out. I have turned it on and kept it as 2. Not sure if it is either working on the console or not. I'll probably drop in a comment once I know it is working. So next is the field of view. So field of view is mostly for the amount of space that the screen can occupy. The view the player can see in the screen. So if you can see at the right side of the screen, there are 60, 80, 100 and 120. So 120 is the max. So you can have a wide range of view for the 120 field of view, and 100 and 80 and 60 that goes with the slowest run. So we preferably go for 120 to have a wider picture. So if you keep 60, if enemy coming at the left side at the 60, you won't know. But if in 120, you can see that enemy clearly. The most of the things will be small, but still you can able to have a gunfight more accurately, and even you can have the view on the enemy first. Third person field of view, we actually we are not third person player, so it is we left to default. Even if you want, you can keep it to 120. First person camera, these and all, we leave it to the default settings. Safe area, we usually set it up for the safe area when we start the game. So that's all for the graphic settings. So next is the main thing for audio settings. So most of us complaints like Warzone is too much loud. It is giving the too much bass boost on the ears with the headphones. So I also have faced that things. So this audio mix is working for us. So mostly it is working for us. I am using the Pulse 3D headset, and this is mostly working for us. So maybe you can try it out and see, and slowly fine tune it for the settings you like. The audio mix, we use this for headphones. Headphones bass boost is little bit giving a too much bass for the heads, and also sometimes it's giving headache for us. So I usually prefer for the headphones. Maybe you can try it out. If it is if you think the audio is not very clear, if you think it is low, you can go for the headphone bass boost. And master volume, keep it as 100. And music volume, I don't want the music to be here on my ear all the time, so I keep it as 0. And dialogue volume to 20. I just want to hear what the information is, that's all. So I can hear it at, I'm okay to hear it at 20. And effects volume, in the Pulse 3D 20 itself, I am able to hear it clearly, so we keep it as 20. So you can fine tune it for your headphones. So you can start with 20 and slightly increase. 20 is the minimal thing that is working for us. And hit marker volume also, you can keep it as 20. You can start with 20 and you fine tune it until whichever point is giving you a positive feedback for you. So mono audio, preferably you can keep it as off. So we don't want mono audio. We want to hear where the enemy is coming, left or right or behind us or front of us. So we want to hear it out. So mono audio, we can turn it off. Subtitles, leave it to default. Subtitles size, leave it to default. And subtitles background of history, we are not going to use subtitles mostly. Leave it to default for that. And voice chat. So voice chat, turn on always. And last words voice chat, yeah, turn it on. Give some last words to the enemy if you kill him. Proximity chat is actually fun. is being fun in the proximity chat. So turn it on and have some fun on the battlefield. So if you are not preferred to talk to the enemies, if you don't want to hear the enemy voice or whoever is nearby, just turn it off and play a game. The proximity chat is fun. Voice chat device. So here for the console user we have the headset and speakers. So we usually play with the headset for the FPS game. So you keep it as a headset. Open mic recording threshold. So this time the Modern Warfare 2 has giving more noise in the mic. So this recording threshold, the 10 to 15, this is what working for us mostly. Most of our squad is using this only. So this is what my thing, and this is giving a noise cancelled voice around the party, and you can try it out. If you keep more than 20-30 means there is some noise or murmuring sound or something is happening behind the scene, so it is impacting the gameplay and also in the party audio. So you can try it out. 10 or 11, 10 to 15 is preferred choice. And voice chat volume, I keep it as 40 because it is actually I'm able to hear my team voice in 40 itself. So if you want to keep it as 50, 60, 80, you can keep it out the voice according to your headset. Microphone test, this is just for checking the recording threshold. You can turn it on and keep the threshold according to your preference. Next is the microphone volume. Microphone volume is the other thing that is giving much of the noise during the party voice chat. So you can try it from 20 to 30 is what actually working for us. It is giving a proper voice chat volume for everyone in our squad. So you can try it out. So my preference is 24, and you can go from 20 to 30, so whichever is maximum. And even though if your mic is not picking up your voice, you can go beyond 30, but if you go beyond 50, there are some disturbances happening within the party, the gameplay having impact on this. Next is for channels. So mute yourself. So whenever you join in a channel, this will be the default settings. You will be muted, you will be unmuted and join. So you will be joined without muting yourself. If you turn it on, you'll be joining on mute. So you want to talk it, so that's why you're joining the channel. So turn it off. Games voice channel, we prefer to keep it on party. So but some people will okay to keep it on all lobby. All lobby means you can also hear from the enemies as well sometimes. So that happens. If you want to keep only the friends only, keep it. Party only is what mostly preferred. It will be most on even friends, and also the members who are playing with us can hear us. And Juggernaut music, you can turn it off. And hitmarker sound effects, yeah, go for MW. That is the proper sound that we are receiving. And reduce titanium sounds. So this usually turn it off, because whenever there is a flash grenade or something happens, we need to hear it properly. Then only we know the grenade is happening. That has the effect on us. So turn it off. If you turn it on, the sound goes subtle. So if the sound goes subtle, the effect itself will be the effect will wear out for us. We will think the effect wears out, but it will not be in such case. So better to turn it off. So that's all for the audio. The interface, so interface, readability, menu, text size, text chat, everything, leave it to default. I'm gonna do anything on that. Subtitles, leave it to default. And next is the minimap shape. Minimap shape, square is for giving the full picture of, we will get a bigger picture of the map. So it is. And minimap rotation, we keep it as off. So that is where we can see like where is the enemy is coming or not from our point of view. Horizontal compass, keep it on so that you can let your friends or whoever you are playing with know. So like east 100 there is an enemy, east 200 there is an enemy, east 100 there is an enemy. So you can say like that. And crosshairs must be there usually for FPS games. If we are playing with if you're okay to play without crosshairs, okay, but we prefer to keep it on. Hit markers visual, yeah, turn it on, then only we'll know whether we are hitting the enemy or not. Damage based hit markers, yes, that also keep it on, then only we'll know whether we have broken the shield or we just killed him, then only we'll get to know that. Play names is preferable to each one of us, so I kept as full name, and if you want to give just by the abbreviated, you just give the abbreviated name and nothing. If you don't want anything, just give the dot. Vehicle HUD prompts, give us 5 seconds. So just when I get into the vehicle, I just want to see what are all the HUD, what are the controls to drive the vehicle. So that's all. After that, we are not going to use it. So it's better to close the HUD. So never disappear. If you want to see the controls all the time, you can keep it as never disappear. Telemetry. So telemetry is something like you can see at the top left screen where you can see the server latency, packet loss, and clock. So this will be helpful when you want to see why your game is lagging. So when there is some latency, when there is latency high, when you have a high latency in the game, that means like your internet is slow or something. So you can check it out. Packet loss, there should not be any packet loss. It should be zero. If there is any packet loss, that could be some server issue or your internet is happening like that. And clock, if you want to see time while playing, you can check it out. Connection meter, you can turn it off, but if you keep it on, there will be um, what to say, there will be additional a set of square box that comes to the right of the map that also covers most of the screen. So we prefer to turn it off. If you want to keep it on, you can try it out. It will give a graph where your latency and packet loss is normal or not. But if you turn on the telemetry, preferably you can turn off the connection meter. If you turn off the telemetry, you can turn on the connection meter and keep it for your info. So next is the advanced interface settings. The gameplay tips, tool tips, parallax, you can leave it to default for all of this, and center dot scale, keep it as launch. So that's all for the settings. Maybe let's see how the settings is working in the gameplay.
Team deathmatch.
Hostiles, look alive!
We have the lead.
Switching back!
Copy. UAV orbiting the AO. We got another security to kill. Sentry is ready to deploy. EKIA confirmed.
The settings that has been working for us. Maybe you shall try it out and drop in the comments if this is working for you, or if you changed anything with your settings or not. We are open to hear it from you. Thank you.